Hello, hello. My name is Sharp Eyes,
And I am Crucifix.
and this is
WeCast,
where we cast.
your games.
Now, Chris, what are we doing tonight?
We're doing a little bit of coaching, a little bit of playing, a little bit of coach playing. So it should be good. Should be a good day.
Sounds good.
What's your battle tag, fellow gamer?
Hi, my battle tag is Panic.
Oh,
I'm not sure
cool.
if you guys familiar with it, but it's a Linux thing.
Oh, okay. So COLONEL Panic.
Yep.
Okay. And then, do you happen to know the numbers after? Oh, or have you guys already figured that out? Looks like you have. Okay, great.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so
Crucifix.
yep. Let's go into a pre-game interview here. Joshua, what
Yep.
race do you like best and why?
Oh, I like Protoss the best. I
Mm.
started playing StarCraft 2 as Terran because that was the first and only thing that you can do. And then, when I purchased the game, I just love Protoss from there. Because
Oh,
I love
okay.
the mechanics of using pylons,
Oh.
proxying, and
Mhm. Yeah, I
I
think
just love it.
pylons. I think pylons overall, like when I build a supply depot as a Terran player, unless I'm building it in a wall, I feel like I'm kind of wasting space. But pylons, you always pylons, they power your building, so you never feel like you're wasting. Like a supply depot almost feels like a waste of money because you're just building it so that you can get more supply. But with a pylon, it actually has an actual use.
Oh, I haven't thought of that way, but yeah, that makes sense.
So SFO digitals versus
This is one of the replays that I sent you guys.
okay. So it is PVZ. Would you say that your PVZ is your most difficult match?
I can't really say right now, really, because I've been practicing over the last couple of days, and I've
Hmm.
been winning a lot on PVZ.
Okay.
Maybe PVZ and PVT, that's my more challenging ones.
Oh, okay.
PVZ, I think I have high success of it, but I still need some furnishing,
Okay.
polishing my place, rather.
Let's see.
Now, is there a reason why you built your pilot next to your mineral line? Is it because of the early six pull cheese by Zerg?
Yeah, I thought I was gonna go for six pool, and I've seen Grubby playing it something like this. He kind of puts his forge behind the mirror line.
Hmm.
So I was just giving it. This is the first time I actually did this, by the way. Usually when I force fast expand, I put it there on the main ramp. I mean on the natural ramp.
Okay. I think maybe. Hmm. I think maybe like an early scout, like to
Hmm.
see if like an early scout like after your first pylon, to see if he's gonna do a six pool. Um, would be like because just like having your forge behind your mineral line just makes your wall take so much longer, to complete. So like um, I feel like maybe like right after your first pylon, if you scouted with that probe, um, and then when you went over there, if the spawning pool was already complete, then you'd know like that something was up, and you could like change your build accordingly from that point on. But it's up to you. If you like your forge behind, like that's fine.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I think I really did misread that one, huh?
Let's see
Because
what
it's not a six pool.
Sharp Eyes is. Did you see what he went for? I think it was a pool before hatch and then an early roach horn, right?
Yep.
Yes. So basically, I mean, either the Zerg six pulls or he does economic build. And if the Zerg player doesn't attack the Protoss player, well then it's not a six pull.
Right, of course.
Mm. And also one thing I think that led me to that was I noticed that his expansion on the natural was late.
I think it was because of how early he got his roach worn out.
Could be.
He's going super fast layer tech too. Or is this normal timing? I think layer tech before 10 minutes is usually pretty early, isn't it? Or is that about normal?
This is actually a really late layer timing.
Oh, it is? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, that shows you like how much I've played Zerg.
Well, maybe this guy isn't good as a Zerg either.
Yeah, let's see here. Good use. I think like you're not completely not using Chrono Boost, but I think like you don't really want the energy on your next side to ever be this high. Like worst case scenario, you should be Chrono Boosting out probes. Right, not worst case. I'm just saying like even if you're not Chrono Boosting out anything else like upgrades or anything, just Chrono Boost out probes.
But only till the point where I saturate my 2 bases, right?
Right, but like it's just Chrono Boost is so powerful that like there's never a reason not to like Chrono Boost something. I mean, if even if your bases are saturated, like if both bases are saturated, you're kind of supposed to have a third up so that you can saturate that. But if you don't, and then you don't have anything else to Chrono Boost, like I mean, you can still Chrono Boost out probes. It's not like it's gonna hurt you to do so.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes,
in PvZ, do you usually go for a 2-base all-in?
Not really. Just this game, I felt like aggressive.
Ah, I see.
During this point of the game, usually what happens to me is I come to a decision point whether I stop making probes and mass on with units and attack, or I go for a third.
Okay.
So usually, I think most of my games turn around because of the way what decision was made during that point.
Hey, actually,
So I think for this, I
okay.
decided to attack.
Right. I think one thing you can improve on is making sure to continue to macro while you continue to macro while you attack, because your minerals are a little bit high. I mean, you definitely are going back into your base to build more units, or not going back to your base, but you're warping in more units at your pylons here, which is good. But I think like if you took just a second while the battle was going on to build more gateways, or maybe to expand real quick, like you could put yourself even like in a better position than you already are. Like you're most likely just going to win this game here, but like you always want to play as if like even if you're sure you're going to win, like you always want to play as if like something's going to happen, because there's been countless games where like I was sure I was about to win and then something happened and I just I couldn't quite kill everything. And then like I ended up in a bad position because I didn't macro at all while I was microing. So like you're doing fine, and you're actually keeping your minerals below 1,000, which is pretty good for your league. But I would recommend if you just take a second while the battle's going on to maybe throw down an expansion, make some more gateways if you want to. Just spend them minerals.
Yeah, so pretty much, I mean, while you did a really good job at spending your gas in this game, your mineral count was going from 800 to 1,200. So I think that like Crispik said, if you took a break from that and either expanded or built a couple more gateways to keep up, with the mineral spending, then you would have been in a much better position than you were already.
Yeah, I mean you're already doing well. Like it's just you always want to put yourself in the best position that you can.
I agree, but how do you how do I put this? How do you do that? I mean, let's say you have the momentum to attack. You're going to attack.
Right.
Do you go and check your base before you warp in your final units, or
what I usually do
as your units are fighting?
Yeah, what you want to do is you want to go into an attack, and as soon as you don't absolutely have to micro your units. So as soon as you A-click into an army, like if you ever find yourself just sitting at your computer watching the battle, like that's when you could be at your base, like throwing down some gateways, you know? Like you don't need to be watching a battle because you're either gonna win it or lose it, whether you're watching it or not. So so like if you find yourself like what you can do is you can move your army in, and then as soon as the battle happens, as long as you don't have to like do a retreat real quick, or as long as you know, you don't have to micro against like some like some like special unit or anything like that. Just A-click your units in, and then you can go back to your base and throw down some more gateways and stuff. And then like after you get maybe a notification, like sometimes you'll do that, and then just after like 2 or 3 seconds, you know, hit your hotkey that your army's on twice, double hit your hotkey, look back, see how the battle's going. If it's over and you've won, you know, move to the next part and then do it again. Does that make sense?
Yep, makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, having said all that, I think it would be safe to say that what I am trying to improve here is to come up with a cycle, a chain of thought on doing this, like
Right.
going from battle to probe to micro to pylon. That's the cycle that I want to build up, which I haven't figured out yet.
The way I do it is I'll do it like what helped me develop something like what you're talking about. Like I've actually mentioned that in like other coaching sessions. I call it like a macro pattern where you like get yourself into just like a circle of action so that you're never not doing anything. And so basically I'll have, you know, like you know, in my case, since I'm a Terran player, I'll have my army on one hotkey. I'll have my army on one hotkey, and then I'll have my command centers on a hotkey, and then I'll have my production on a hotkey. And so I'll do a circle. So I'll always be circling around my hotkeys. I'll hit 1, check on my army. 3, make SCVs. 4, make like make units out of my production buildings. And then I'll go back to 1, and then go back to 4 or 5 or whatever, and then I'll just do that in a circle. So I'm always checking on my army, and then I'm making probes or SCVs, and then I'm making units out of my production, and then I'm checking on my army, and then like so doing that with hotkeys makes it a lot easier because you don't have to go back to your base and click on your buildings, because if you have to click on your buildings and stuff, like it just kind of ruins the circle, you know, like the pattern.
Yeah.
And so like if you can like master, if you can like get really comfortable using hotkeys, like and that's like a really good way, you know, to use. I recommend putting your gateways on a hotkey, even though you can use W. Like it's just easier to keep your hand like on the numbers, but you don't have to. You can use W if you'd like. You can use Control W. It's just like it's a little like as long as you don't have to look down at the keyboard, it's fine. It's a little easier to only have to hit your number keys. But if you wanted to, what you could do is you could just keep your gateways on W and then put all your other production on a hotkey. So either one of those is like perfectly fine. But like that's what I would recommend is like use your hotkeys and then go like 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, and then the other one, like 2 and 3 are reserved for other army units if you want to like get High Templar or anything like that, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I should practice my hand and get the muscle memory on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Because like eventually you won't have to look at your keyboard at all to hit like every number up to like 6.
Yeah. Now that's only if you're playing a smooth game where you attack and then that's it. But what if you're getting dropped? Are you still doing that thing on your hands?
Well, yeah. Well, like when you get attacked, like the most important thing is to always be making units, because like when you're getting attacked, you want to be making units even more than when you're not getting attacked. So like, and especially if they drop, you know, behind your mineral line, you're going to be wanting to make probes and you're going to be wanting to make army units. So none of that like the pattern is actually more important when you're getting attacked than when you're not, because you're getting pushed. Like if your opponent is trying to hit you, that means they're trying to push you behind, and so you want to stay as even as possible, or you don't want to get too far behind. So if you completely stop your macro every time you get attacked, then his attack has just been twice as effective. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm writing a few things here. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it is hard though. Like I struggle with that all the time. Like trying to macro while I'm dealing with a tough situation. It's not like it's a lot easier to say. It's one of those things that's it's easier to say than do. But
Yeah.
but it is like what it is the proper thing to do is to make sure you don't change the fundamentals of your gameplay when an unexpected situation comes up. And yeah, just make sure like when you're getting dropped, say by a Terran player, make sure you're splitting your army up so that he can't just keep moving from all of your bases. Don't send your whole army to his drop and then have him just go to a different base, because that's always really frustrating. And so yeah, just stay calm and carry on when stuff like that's happening.
Okay.
So did you want to play a game against Sharp Eyes now?
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good. Crucifix, would you explain to our coachee what or how this usually works?
Yeah. So Sharp Eyes is gonna play you. Like you shouldn't feel any pressure, like about what happens in the game. Just play as well as you can. Sharp Eyes is a really good player. He and so don't feel bad or anything if you lose. It's expected. But like the main reason we do this is because when like we can see you play firsthand, and we especially when Sharp Eyes can play with you, like we can analyze your gameplay a lot more, because like when you actually play someone, it's easier to tell like what they need to work on and stuff like that. And so also like while you're playing. While you're playing, I'm going to give you some general tips to just to help you out. Like you can either take those tips or you can choose not to do them. It's completely up to you. Like I won't be offended or even slighted at all if you choose not to do what I say or suggest. I mean, I'm just here. I'm just here to give you general coaching tips while you play, and if you don't feel like that's what you want to do at the time, or maybe there's something that I just missed, then don't worry about it, and just play however you'd like.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Actually, I'm gonna follow, because I'm here to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm playing against a Zerg. Now, recently, while playing Zerg, I don't do Forge Fast Expand. Is it alright if I do that here, or are we gonna do FFE?
Yeah, you can
just pretty much do whatever you're most comfortable with.
right.
Okay, cool. Because I was watching DreamHack yesterday, and I just learned this new build from Naniwa. And apparently, earlier when I was laddering in the morning, I won. So I kinda
nice.
like it, and whoa, looks effective. We'll see. Forgot this. So where are you guys from? Are you in the U.S.?
Yep. We are from California. I'm from San Diego, and Sharp Eyes over there is from Bakersfield.
From Orange County, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Orange County, Bakersfield.
Yep. OCSB.
So now I see.
So like when you scouted, like see how like the spawning pool, you could tell that the spawning pool had just started. Like that's like that's a surefire way for you to know a surefire way for you to know that it was not any sort of 6 pool. If you had gone if or any sort of early pool. If you had gotten over there and the pool was complete, that's when you'd want to start playing very defensively. But since the spawning pool just started, you know he's playing a regular game, right?
Mm-hmm. I think I got this one late.
I don't know if you don't have guys on your gas on purpose or if you forgot, but just mentioning it.
Oh, oh wait, I wasn't. I'll just leave it there. I wasn't supposed to make the first guess.
Oh.
I mean, the second guess.
Oh, okay, I see.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Yeah, it happens.
It's alright. Yeah, this one.
I'd recommend Chrono Boost on your Cybernetics core. There's no reason not to. Maybe yeah, just overall Chrono Boost usage is what I would stress right now. Let's see.
Now, since I put on this expansion, I should be chrono boosting on my Nexus instead of the Cybercore, right?
Well, because you have extra Chrono Boost right now, like use it but like once you like get yourself into a position where you don't have oh, it looks like you got yourself in a little supply block.
Yeah, that's one mistake there.
But like once you get yourself in a position where all your Chrono Boost is used up, then yeah, start Chrono Boosting your Nexus. Like especially like during a supply block is a really good time to Chrono Boost everything else, because I mean you're not gonna get any units out, so you might as well just Chrono Boost all your upgrades and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Oh, some micro from Sharp Eyes over there, no big deal. Do all Zerg units regenerate, or is it they only regenerate on creep?
All of them do.
Okay, and they regenerate faster on creep, right?
Yep.
Okay. You're doing a really good job spending your minerals. No problem there. Like for right now.
No problem with it. That's great.
Keep slow. You're playing very well right now. Your main base isn't fully saturated, so you could probably just change your rally point back to your main for that Nexus until it's saturated to 16. I'm sure you just took some probes off to build buildings, and that's why that same thing happens to me. Sometimes what I like.
So what's?
Sorry, go ahead.
What's a really good number here? 17.
So 16 is the number, like is the most efficient number. But what I like to do sometimes is I like to maybe put a couple extra on my main base so that when I go to build buildings, like I'm always fully saturated on my main, even if I pull a couple probes off to build a building or something, or like to do anything like that. So I sometimes like to go up to 18 on my main, and then 16 on my natural, and then if I have a third, start saturating that. But if I don't, I'll just rally. I'll just like evenly distribute my SUVs until my third is finished building. And or if
Okay.
or if you're going two base all in, then you just stop making probes completely. So I would say though, if you are gonna go for two base aggression, go ahead and just get your probes up to 24 on both. Like if you're going early, if you're going two base aggression and you don't plan on getting a third base,
Yeah.
just max your probes out, because you're gonna want because you're gonna want as many minerals as you can get while you're fighting. Like you don't want to be in a situation where you don't have minerals.
So 24 is still okay. That won't
Well,
be.
it's still, you're still getting more minerals. You're still getting more minerals, like with each additional probe up to 24. And then after 24, you get no additional minerals if you have an additional probe mining. The reason you don't want, the reason like people say you don't usually want 24 is because you would have an expansion to put your probes on, and you might as well just get more out of each probe from the expansion. But since you don't have an expansion, like since you don't have a third base, you might as well just keep making probes and getting more minerals out of your two bases. And then if you do build a third in the future, you can transfer them at that point and immediately have saturation. And that'll be a huge mineral boost.
Taking minerals now.
I want to use your shields.
Oh
There you go. Nice.
no. Wrong one.
It's good positioning. I like how you got back there where the Zerglings couldn't surround you.
Oh yeah, this is also one thing. While I'm playing this, I know that my third has been denied. What's the good thing to do? Should I sit on two bases or?
Well, what you're supposed to do is like you have to use your army to defend the third base as it goes up. And so you want to put your army in a position where you can defend both the third and your natural. So like right in the middle between your third and natural is a really good place to keep your army, as long as you don't feel too vulnerable. If you feel really vulnerable and you feel like he could just come in and crush your army, then you probably do have to sit back for a little bit until you build your army up. But if you feel like you have a pretty good-sized army, which I think, compared to what he's hit you with so far, your army is it's good enough. They're very even. I think that you'd have no problem just taking your third while you sit kind of in between your two bases here. And if he tries to come at you, you can just do a quick move over.
Okay. Let's make losses. There you are.
You also might want to sometimes I like to keep I think it would be a good idea to keep maybe a zealot or a stalker in the gap of your natural opening on hold position, like to keep Zergling run-bys from happening.
Somewhere here. Good.
See, so like now is when you want to pull your army over before he kills your Nexus. I think it might go down.
Oh yeah, there.
Yeah, so like you really want to keep your army like in a position where they will they'll be close enough so that they can respond before the Nexus goes down.
Well, I hope you don't mind that I'm so silent and just
No.
concentrating.
Don't just just listen to me. Like just listen and then take the hints if you want to. Like I don't expect a response. One thing you can try is one thing you could try if Sharp Eyes couldn't hear me was you could try to take the third in the other position, in the other third position, so to your right instead of your left, and then that way maybe he won't see it, but it is a little harder to defend it over there. So it's kind of like, whatever you want to
then I think I'll just give it because
do.
I really feel that Zerg has made it their absolute mission to prevent Protoss from getting a third.
Yeah, no, three base Protoss is like very dangerous, like for any race, because like a Protoss on three bases can just pump out very scary units. Because like Protoss, kind of the way it works is Protoss's early game isn't as strong as maybe Zerg's is, but the Protoss late game is extremely powerful. And so if you can get three bases and you can just be pumping out those Colossi and High Templar all over the place, it's very hard to respond to that kind of situation. You
Oh,
also
this
could also
I
suggest
forgot the upgrade.
oh no.
Oh well.
I'd also suggest in the future, like when you're fighting Zerg. So for one thing, you don't
Yeah.
really want to be fighting them on creep. Yeah. So I like how you backed up a little there. Like this is going to be a hard battle. I think it's going to be a rough one. But wait 1 second. Let's just watch. Let's just let this battle. Hey.
Ah, there you go. Maybe I think I depended on getting Colossus much. When I know for a fact that he's already seen one of my Colossus.
Well, like, yeah.
Yeah, let's call it a game.
Okay. So, we can talk about the game more in a second when we watch the replay.
Sure.
But I would say that like it's like you still want to get Colossi out like against when you see that he has mostly Hydra, when he has like when he's going like Roach Hydra and Zergling, like you still want those Colossi even if he knows you have them, because like you need them against that army composition. You need it to fight, and yeah, he's gonna get Corruptors out. But that's why you go a little heavier on the Stalkers and
The
focus them.
Stalker.
Yeah, and then you focus them down. Keep your Colossi farther back if you can. Like try to get him to overextend into your line of Stalkers so that the Corruptors will be trying to chase the Colossi down, kind of, and then that way, like you can. That's a good way to get Zerg to kind of overextend into your army, because if he tries to get your Colossi that way, he's gonna start losing those Corruptors, and it's gonna be like a lot. And then at that point, if he doesn't have any, it's kind of GG, like for his army. And so like that's one way you can deal with like a Zerg player who is countering your Colossi that way. But yeah, like if even if you think that the Zerg player knows that you have one, like don't be afraid to make them, because like they're so good. And especially against Zerg.
Now, having said all those, should I be also prioritizing getting Blink? Or no?
Blink is good. Like if you have the minerals to get it, like get it, because like just like the positional, like your enemy engages you in a battle, and then he realizes he can't win, and then attempts to flee. In a normal situation, he'll be able to get away, just because of like the speed of a stalker. But with Blink, you can punish him so much further, like when you chase them, because you can do an aggressive Blink forward and kill another like 20 units before he's able to get away. And so Blink is very good. I would recommend like if you have the minerals for it, like get it if you're going to be going heavy stalker. So Sharp Eyes, what, like just in general, like what are your reactions to the game and everything?
So basically, I thought that your gate expand was pretty good. I mean, I delayed my third because I thought that you're one basing for a second there, but there was also that option of gate expand. So once I realized that you had expanded, I took a third, and I think that you could have punished my third mid game with maybe some Zealots or something because
Yeah.
I really didn't have any defenses there for quite a while.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah, and
you're
the reason why the reason why I came out ahead that game was because of my third base. Since it's two base Protoss versus three base Zerg, which is a fairly even fight, but Zerg will be able to remax quicker and tech switch if he's on three bases. So
right. So if I was aggressive there and probably aimed to shut down your third, it would have been a different fight, right?
right, right.
Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call.
No problem.
But so, what have you guys been discussing?
We
Um,
were discussing about his take on his third.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So I think like one of the main things, like you're not bad at spending your minerals. You warp in army units when your cooldowns are up. I think Chrono Boost is one thing that you can work on. That's like
Uh-huh.
one of the main things. Making sure not to get supply blocked is another one. But I think like the biggest thing is how passively you play. Like I saw in the replay we did, you were aggressive.
Yep.
But you were aggressive, but like you still only pushed out with one big force when you were ready to attack. Like you want to maintain map control, and you had map control for a second with your probe when you put it at the Zelnaga tower at the beginning of the game, and that was pretty good. But you don't want to be like you don't want to be getting into a mindset where you're sitting at your base until you've decided, okay, now I'm going to move my whole army out and attack him. What you want to be doing, like
Oh.
you want to be on the map. You want to be on the map and be you want to get an observer out. You want to be denying creep spread. You want to be figuring out his army composition, kind of poking him, having him poke you back, going back and forth with the Zerg player, and you want to be denying expansions and kind of testing the waters. Because if you let the Zerg player do whatever they want, Sharp Eyes actually did a pretty greedy build. He didn't have any army units out for a long time. So if you had maybe gone over there with say 3 zealots, 2 stalkers, and a mothership core, that's like a good little squad that you can go poke with. And so say you went over to the third base when you had that available. I think you would have found that you could have done a ton of damage and maybe even taken it down. And that way, you can kind of camp his creep spread, make sure he can't take any, while at the same time keeping an eye out for when he moves out. You could move your mothership core back to your base, and then keep those zealots and stalkers there. And even if you lost them, it's only 3 zealots and a couple stalkers, and you'd have all the info that you could want, and you'd know when he was moving out. So just a little squad like that to move out in the middle of the game, at the 10-minute mark or earlier, is really, really effective.
Yeah, so basically, a non-greedy Zerg is a bad Zerg. So I mean, if a Zerg wants to play a macro game with or against you, then he's pretty much always going to be playing greedy. So you really have to, pressure him when you get the chance, or else you'll never get that chance.
Yeah,
Okay.
you want your opponent to feel like they're being pressured to attack you before they want to, because if no matter who you're playing, if it's a Zerg or anyone, if they're allowed to hit you if they're allowed to just come hit you whenever they want to, they're gonna be ready for that battle. But if you force them to engage before they're ready, then you can put your opponent into a position where he has to attack with maybe an army that just is insufficient. But Sharp Eyes hit you. He denied your third until he was completely ready to battle, and then came to your main army while you were trying to defend it, because he was okay, I've got everything I need, and now I can go attack. But if you were at his front door, he might feel more pressure to attack you with a worse army.
Mhm. Okay, now regarding those that you said, when you do that, I take that I'm not supposed to go all in, just a fraction of what the units that I have, right? Just make some of them actively gain map control, correct?
Right, yeah, exactly. You just want a squad. Like I like to think of it as like little hit squads
Mm-hmm.
that apply pressure to your opponent. And early game, like early game, those are fine as long as you stay off creep. Um, as long as you stay off creep, like you would do just fine with a squad like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would
No.
say this battle in particular, one thing I wanted to say was like you really want to keep your colossi as far back into your army as you can. Like they were right at the
Uh-huh.
front there, and they were like a lot of them were right at the front and got taken out really quickly. And
Uh-huh.
and so like your army really didn't do too badly here because it kind of you kind of forced some of Sharp Eyes' units to not attack because they couldn't like fight up this ramp very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that just like keeping your colossi farther back and using your force fields as soon as the battle started could have put you in a better
Mm-hmm.
position, like during this battle.
Okay, so those are
Yeah,
micro
those are just micro
that's
tips.
right.
Yeah, and
Now, regarding the,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, regarding uh, the main thing about the map control, like
Right.
the little death squad, right? Let's say, for example, I have some Colossus here. Do you
hmm
usually add your big units to that little death squad that you're supposed to just gain map control of,
No, no.
or
See,
no?
the Colossus is part of your Protoss Death Ball. So it's like your
Yeah.
Colossus. You want that Zealot Stalker Colossi Death Ball because like
Uh,
a Colossus without proper protection is almost a useless unit.
right.
So like 10 Marines could take down a Colossus. Oh, like 10 Marines, if they were split property, could probably take down a Colossus by itself. But if when they're protected properly with that Death Ball. It's like really good. But like yeah, like a little hit squad would just be say like I was saying before, maybe like a couple stalkers, three zealots, and a mothership core, or maybe two phoenixes and three stalkers, something like that, where you can
Mm,
get good positional play on your opponent.
Yeah,
so
what?
maybe
Yeah.
you can. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Well, maybe we can conclude it as just something small but can do damage,
Right, exactly.
right?
Something where like you're not gonna die to six. Something where you're not gonna die to like six, like 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 six Zerglings, but at the same time, like you can get away if you need to. So like that's why I like. So that's why I like the Phoenixes, or I like the Mothership Core. The Mothership Core has the recall. The Phoenixes are super fast, can lift units. Like you want those units where you can get a good where you can get a good position on your opponent and then poke
Mhm,
and prod, but then get away like right away if you need to.
yeah.
mhm,
I was actually gonna add this. So pretty much in PvZ, the Zerg's third base is gonna be pretty vulnerable early on. So what you want to do is early on you want to take one of your probes and then build a proxy pylon at their fourth base. So here, probably like
Oh,
right here or so. And
yeah.
so mid game, um, when you see that they're building their third, what you want to do is you want to warp maybe 4 to 6 zealots, and then just like run by
Attack the third.
and then kill the third base, and then the Zerg will be pretty much far behind because you're on 2 base and the Zerg's on 2 base, and that's not where the Zerg wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
And
Okay,
like,
last
yeah.
question regarding that.
Yep,
Oh, sorry. Can I ask?
yep, go for it.
Okay, last question regarding that. Let's say I get this little death squad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the challenging part there is to how to
My,
put my hotkeys in.
oh,
Do
I
I put
see.
my little desk squad into one, or and then
Yeah.
just click back on the minimap to get to the main if I'm attacked, or
Well,
should I
like
use one and two?
what you want to do is like you want to use like your most active army at the time
Mm-hmm.
goes on one. So your squad would be on
Mm-hmm.
one, and then maybe your main, like your main army, like the one back at home, would be on 2, and then your nexuses are already on 5. So all you have to do is double click 5, and it'll snap back to your main, right? And what you can also do is, I think, Sharp Eyes, what's the default hotkey for like command centers and stuff? Do you know? Sharp Eyes. Hmm. But like, there's a hot, like, I have it as space. I think it might be space. But oh, he's gonna be right back. But there's a default hotkey which I've changed to space that will auto go back to my command center, and it's really nice because you can just be anywhere on the map and hit the space bar, and then you're right back home, and then you don't have to click on the mini. You don't have to click on the mini map or double click anything. You just hit one button, and you're right back at your main base. So like, that's one thing you could try out if you'd like.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So here, let me get out of this replay. But yeah, I would say that just in that match specifically, like, you did a pretty good job. Like, you made some minor mistakes that everyone makes, like supply block and like chrono boost and stuff. But like, I think what, like, if you really is like what lost the game was just kind of lack of knowledge of what was, like, I liked how you made a hallucinated phoenix at one point to kind of see what was going on. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that. And like, just like because map control, not only does it allow you to pressure your opponent, but it also allows you to always know what's happening. So like, you don't want to be surprised by something at the front door of your base. You want to be surprised by something that's coming out of his natural, and then you have until it gets to you to react to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm actually writing things down, so that's why.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. Let's see what Sharp Eye says. Okay, it's just gonna be right back. So basically, when Sharp Eyes comes back, we're gonna do
And I'm back.
Oh, sweet. So I guess we're gonna
There you are.
transition. We're gonna transition into our 6 tips to better gameplay.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
So basically, it's going to be 6 tips that you can take home to work on until our next coaching session. All right. So Chris, would you do the honors of
Sure. So
telling them the first one?
So like, some of this is going to be repeat, but but it's just kind of like it's just going to be kind of like a wrap up of everything is the reason. So point number 1, as I said, I think getting map control with squads would really help you a lot.
Map control, number 1. Number 2, I noticed that mid game your minerals and gas tends to get a little bit too high.
Yep.
At the point where I attacked you, at your third, I think you had around 1,500 mineral and around 1,000 gas. If those were colossi, I mean, that's 5 colossi, yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
And so I think that if you worked a little harder on getting your mineral count lower, then your mid game would be so much better, and you definitely get platinum really easy because your other mechanics are pretty solid.
Right.
Okay.
I think number 3 could be just I think you play a little too passively. I think that if you were to even if you aren't going to necessarily do a 2-base all-in where you only build 2 bases, stop making probes and attack, like, even if you're not doing that, like, there's no problem with attacking while you take your 3rd base, or, you know, doing a pretty sizable attack before you max your army. You don't want to max your army and then move out, because he's probably going to have a maxed army too. Unless, and the only reason you'd ever do that is if you were on the map and you knew for some reason that you needed that. But I would say that just kind of commit, like finding out, like, once you use map control, you'll be able to find out where your army would be most effective, and you can kind of go out on the map with it earlier than 20 minutes, because that's pretty late.
Okay.
Yep. Point number four, right?
Yeah.
Point number four. Like I was saying earlier, you want to bring the fight to them, instead of them bringing the fight to you, since you want to fight on your terms. So so with the map control that Crucifix was talking about, that should come a lot easier for you, since I noticed that early game you took control of the towers, and you expressed dominance, but then mid to late game you were pretty much just trying to stay alive and trying to establish your third. And so I think that you know this is kind of like a meld of two tips, but try to stick to one plan. So basically, if you want a two base all in, then do it. Go full force and keep your minerals extra low. But if you want to go two base into a third base and then macro behind that, then make sure to get those four gases up pretty early, since you definitely want that gas. So pretty much um, know what you want to do, whether that's super late macro or two base all in, and then try to get your minerals as low as you can while maintaining your map presence. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'd say point number five could be I think your reactionary play could be just a little bit better. So say for example, like if the Zerg player is denying your third with an army that is as big as yours. So if a Zerg player is denying your third with an army that you think that you have a good chance at, go ahead and put pressure on the Zerg player at that point. Or whatever it is. Like, if someone's trying to deny you with an army that's as good as yours or worse, if you go and put pressure on them, they have to pull their army back. And then that's when you can expand out of it. And so, like, one thing that you can always think about is, like, one good rule of thumb is how can you get somebody to stop how can you get somebody to stop applying pressure to your base? Apply pressure to their base. So if he's denying your third, and you think, hey, my army is as good as his, but I can't get a good engagement on it because he runs away every time I get over there, then just go over to his base, keep some cannons and maybe some just a few defenses, like a few zealots or something at your own base, just for lean run by stuff like that. Move your army over to him, and yeah, maybe like you won't win the game, but you will get a good engagement with his army because he has to respond with it. So like it'll force him to engage your army, even if he doesn't want to, because maybe all he wanted to do was deny your third until he got a good army. But if you force him to engage, you're putting him in a position that he doesn't want to be in. So yeah, just I think point number five could
That's
be.
really good point.
Yeah, it could just be like reactionary play, I guess.
Okay. Now that's a really good tip. I really like that one.
Oh, okay.
Point number six. Versus Zerg, and versus Terran, get more zealots. Especially zealots with the charge upgrade versus Terran. They're very good, but in general, zealots are actually better than stalkers versus Zerg, because they're so meaty, and they do so much damage, and they put so much pressure as compared to stalkers, which get torn apart by roaches and hydras. So
Yeah.
they help tank for Colossi much better.
Yeah. The only time like you really want stalkers versus Zerg is if well, actually, like maybe you want a few. Like maybe if you're going Blink Stalker, that might be something. But like even if they are going Corruptor, you could probably just go Phoenix. Like you could go Phoenix and do like a Zealot Colossi Phoenix situation, and that would probably be pretty effective.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, stalkers are good, but two things make zealots better. For one, zealots don't cost any gas,
Yeah.
which means that you get more, Colossi or High Templar, for your buck. And then for two, they pretty much force the Zerg to continuously kite, because Zerg units don't want to be fighting zealots head on. So
Yeah.
you're pretty much pushing the Zerg back and back. Whereas with mass stalkers, you're pretty much saying, oh, okay, well, your roaches and hydras can eat up my units, no problem. So
Right.
yeah.
So against Hydras, I still need to max Zealots,
So
right?
okay. So versus Hydra Roach, gateway
Yeah.
units are very very bad versus them, but
Mm.
um, zealots are a much better meat shield for your Colossi than
Mm-hmm.
stalkers because they're so much cheaper
Mm.
and they do so much more damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
So
point number 6. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
so pretty much you just want to use them as cannon fodder that can push them back.
Yeah, and like they do
Mm.
good they do good damage, especially if they're upgraded. Because like a zealot can attack like 3 times every time a roach attacks. Because a roach it sprays his acid and then it takes a deep breath and like regurgitates some more and then it sprays some more acid. But I think a zealot would probably attack maybe. It probably gets like 2.5 swipes for every acid spray of a roach, and so
Yeah.
if you can get two zealots on each roach, I think like
Mm-hmm.
that can be very effective. And a stalker, like they just don't like even though like stalkers are very good, but they're expensive and they're just not as good. And so, but what I was gonna say is, I think point number 6 could be, don't be afraid to use High Templar. I mean, I know that they are kind of annoying to micro, but they're just as easy as sentries, which you're already using, and
Mm-hmm.
like the storm is extremely powerful and it's very easy to use. All you do is hotkey it. All you do is hotkey it, and then you press shift and then the storm key, and then you can just lay down the storms as you press, just like the shields. And so I think
Mm-hmm.
if maybe like Sharp Eyes was saying, get your gases early so that you have the minerals and the gas. Get your gases early so you have what you need to get High Templar, and get like 4 or 5 of them. And then so when that
Mm-hmm.
big battle comes down, I think you'll find that your like overall firepower is just it'll probably double, just because the micro of gold players is very poor most of the time, and so you'll see that like your enemies will most of the time, like even if they do try to back out of the storm, then you're just going to be getting those free hits in, you know.
Yeah, so like pretty much off of 2 base, you can only go either Colossi or High Templar.
Oh, okay.
So pick one. But once you establish your third base, then you definitely always want to be going Colossi and High Templar.
And High Templar.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
because
yeah, it, yeah.
once you have both High Templar and Colossi, I mean, there's literally nothing that can defeat you short of Ultralists and yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much just Ultralists.
But yeah, like a High
Yeah.
Templar, Colossi Death Ball mix situation is pretty, and
That'd be awesome.
that's why people are so adamant about not letting Protoss have 3 bases, because once they have 3, they can do both High Templar and Colossi, and that's so scary. So
Mm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
that's a good
even
point.
Ultras can be countered by a tech switch to Mass Immortals. So
yeah. But in any case, I think I think that's about it. We usually do a point 7 where we just say, if you enjoyed today's coaching session or you have any suggestions or anything like that, a review on nerdupgrades.com is like really helpful to us, because like it puts us like it helps us get more coaching sessions in the future. So if you if you have time,
Yeah, sure.
that'd be great. So in any case,
sure.
Sharp Eyes, yeah.
yep,
You want to do the impromptu sign off?
yep. Did you have any additional questions for us before we sign off?
Questions? No, I got everything pretty much laid out in my notes right now, and I pretty much understood what you guys said.
Okay,
And
great.
yeah, I do agree that those are the things that I need to improve on, especially the hotkeys, circling the hotkeys. That will
Right,
probably
right.
help me get to platinum.
Mhm. Oh
Gotcha.
yeah,
But
I think
yeah, I would love to do a review on your website. However, your website seems to have a bug right now. I seem to get logged off from certain times. Like when I check my messages, it asks me to log in again.
Oh,
Oh,
So
really?
I don't know. I'll figure out a way.
which browser are you currently using?
I tried with the three browsers. I'm
Uh,
Oh,
actually
okay.
a developer myself, so I pretty much
Yeah.
know how web applications go. And this is like, oh, they have a problem with their site. I actually
Oh,
sent
okay.
an email to your support earlier. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I sent an email to your support earlier suggesting that you take a look at your sessions. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
login sessions.
gosh.
So
Okay,
I hope that one helps.
sounds good. Well,
Mhm.
well, thanks for the tip there. I think the people over at Nerd Upgrades will probably get that fixed hopefully soon enough. It is still like the website itself is still like in beta, so I think
Beta
that's like
version.
they still have like some kinks to work out. But that's good info because we didn't know that, and that could be why some of our students have been having trouble submitting replays and stuff like that. So
Yeah. All right.
I
Well,
think that's
it
pretty much
was
what.
it was great having you on the show. We
Yeah, thank
really
you very
appreciate
much, guys. I really appreciate this too.
yeah, no problem.
And I will really subscribe to the site even if you will be charging, which I think will be going on later on.
Maybe eventually we'll see what
Right?
happens.
Yeah.
it.
I
All right.
really love that you have this and pretty helpful. I hope I get
Okay,
you platinum this season.
great.
Best of luck to you.
Mhm.
All right.
Thank you.
Once again, my name is Sharp Eyes,
I'm
Mm-hmm.
Crucifix.
and this is
And my news.
Colonel Panic.
Colonel
Oh
Panic.
yeah. Thank you very much for the session, guys. Hope to
Yep.
see you again sometime.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.